Hey, what's going on? It's Quinn David Furness. Welcome to the Beantown podcast for Sunday, May 24th, 2020, Memorial Day weekend. What's going on? How are you? What's happening? My name is Quinn, and this is my show. And if everything has worked out correctly, and that's a big if, capital I, capital F. I like Trump with my hands right now if you're watching the video. Which brings me to my point. If everything worked out correctly, it's our first ever Beantown podcast on video. We've actually done one of our Beantown Unplugged series from Kentucky. We did some bourbon tasting. And that was like a Facebook Live or something that we put on YouTube, which is exciting. But this is potentially the first ever installment with video, 4K video. Holy cow. Who knows if I just feel like there are so many obstacles between what's happening right now with the recording and actually trying to get something like this onto YouTube. Not to mention uploading this video is going to take me days if it actually works out that way. But this is my show, and I'm doing my best to get the technology right here. We're coming to you live from the north side of Chicago, Rogers Park to be specific, and it's Memorial Day weekend, and it is a beautiful weekend. I tell you what, man, like early this past week into mid this past week, it was worst weekend of all time. You're not going to have the chance to do fun outdoor stuff. You're going to be sad, depressed, and just angry because of all the thunderstorms. But tell you what, we had like a small splashing, if you will, yesterday. I was taking a nap. It was after my run. And I finished that up, took a nap, a little bit of rolling thunder, hear my cry. And since then, it has been gorgeous. Today, easily the nicest day of the year. We're sitting here about 82 degrees out, sunny. If you're watching this on the video, yep, sunburn, big time. Went out for a little picnic with hashtag friend of the podcaster, Rachel. We went out kind of by Diversity Harbor, and it was really nice. We stopped at Mariano's, a popular grocery chain. Got some crackers, some cheese, some salami, some drinks, and enjoyed some people watching. It's a great day for some people watching. A lot of pups out, a lot of young kids. There was these two European guys playing around with a soccer ball, and they almost hit a baby in the head. That was wild. And, it was just a lot going on, but it was a beautiful day. The only thing you got to watch out for is you can only go so long before you got to pee. And there are no public bathrooms because all that stuff's been closed off. So you got to be very careful with that stuff. But it was a great day for a picnic. I tell you what, when we're talking about picnics, I mean, we kept it pretty simple. You got crackers, cheese, salami, some drinks. We kept it light picnic fare, if you will. But I don't know, what else could you bring on a picnic? I'm trying to think. Well, there's a place to start. We got these yogurt pretzels right here. Check it out. 4K. Wow, it really gets in close to the camera. I can see myself through the pretzel. That's wild. I like the yogurt pretzels. They're very tasty. Get them at my local grocery store. It's one of my new snacks, one of my new go-tos. They're still, very unhealthy, but I feel a little bit less guilty slamming some yogurt pretzels than I do like a pound cake or something. Rachel sent me, on Friday night, she brought over a slice, and by slice, I mean like Jumbo Diaz slice. If you don't know the reference, you're going to want to get to know your Cincinnati Reds bullpen. A huge slice of bundt cake with just an inordinate amount of frosting on it. Inordinate. INORDINATE. And I had that after my run yesterday. I tell you what, man, that thing was powerful. Like, there had to have been easily 1,000 calories in that slice. It was thick. It was chunky. It was just like me in high school. Or me like 6 months ago. It was good though, but I don't think I could have a piece of cake for another 2 weeks or so because it was just so much. So pretzels, those are good for picnics. I'm thinking about marmalade. What is marmalade? What? I don't know. I thought it was, you got the 4 states of matter. You got gas, water, solid, and plasma, but maybe they need a 5th for marmalade because I really don't know what it is. It's just something you say, and it's like, well, what is it actually? Same goes for mascarpone. What is it? Is it a spice? Is it a cake of some sort? A cookie? A pastry? Who knows? That's the tricky thing about foods that, we don't know anything about. It reminds me of Baked Alaska. We were having a discussion about that on our podcast about 2 years ago. In Alaska, that's why it was so thrilling to do. But other good foods for picnics. Oh, I forgot a food that we had, grapes. We had some green grapes. They're great for picnics. They're very poppable. They're cool. They're refreshing. They keep you hydrated. I hadn't had a grape all year, and I proceeded to have like half the bag. We also, a fun milestone in my life. On Friday when I went to the grocery store, Saturday, maybe it was just yesterday. No, it was Friday. For the first time in my life, I bought a mango. Wow, I felt so tropical, very cultured. And I learned how to skin a mango. And I cut the mango, and I learned that mangoes have pits. There was a lot of educationing happening over here at the apartment the other day. And now I'm a mango master, which I think is a tier you can reach in Fruit Ninja, actually. Other picnic foods? I don't know. You'll have to let us know. Email us, beantownpodcast.com. Again, that's Beantown. No, that's our website. You can head there. You can also email us, beantownpodcast@yahoo.com. Again, that's Beantown, B-A-N podcast@yahoo.com. Or you can tweet at us. We're at White Buns. I'm on Instagram at q.queend. Show's Twitter is at BeantownCast. Doesn't get a lot of action these days, but once I find the password, we'll be right back. Listener discretion is advised when listening to the Beantown podcast. Number 1, we'll occasionally use some foul language. Number 2, you just got to watch out because this show is terrible. Although I tell you what, and we're going to get into this, and I'm not going to make this particular episode too long because it's holiday weekend, and y'all got better stuff to do than sit here and listen to Quinn. And I got an NASCAR race coming up here in about half an hour, which is more of the time rush. But this camera. Oh, what did I say? It's objectively terrible. Hopefully, it'll be less objectively terrible. We got this 4K camera. You'll recall if you are a hashtag friend of the podcast or a beanhead, however you identify, you'll know. Oh, I forgot to take my multivitamin today. I just got home a little bit ago. Daily Men's Multivitamin from Target. Up and Up may help support heart health, immune health, energy, metabolism. That's what you want. Energy metabolism, as opposed to the other kinds of metabolism. Not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. That's inspiring. Contains soy. Sorry to all the gluten-free people out there. You'll recall in late December, one of our, if not the last show of Season 2 of the Beantown podcast, I mentioned 2 big projects for Season 3 of the Beantown podcast. One of them was the Scott Farrell audiobook, which, if you haven't had the chance to check it out, the complete thing is on YouTube. Let me know if you want to listen to it. If you can't find it because it's unlisted, you can either message me and let me know, and I'll get it to you, or you can, if we're friends on Facebook, you can go find it there. And the way it works is, because I haven't posted all of them on Facebook, there are lots of different segments, but they all belong to the same playlist. So if you open one, you should have access to all of them. That was project number 1. Project number 2 was something I thought we were going to get launched much earlier than the audiobook, but is now only coming to fruition today, potentially, if I'm doing this right. And that's the thing. Not only is there... So I should mention what part number 2 was. We are going to start doing video podcasts. Not every single week, not all the time. I got a lot of loose hair here. But when given the opportunity, probably not as accessible to do in traveling, but that certainly hasn't happened much this year at all. Matt Fiedler, friend of the podcast, who I should mention, we recorded a new white noise podcast the other night. Hopefully that drops soon because we haven't released an episode in like 9 months. So we're trying to get back on the map. I learned that we lost our sponsorship with Anchor, which is really disappointing because I was really banking on some of that income for this year, pay for some of my lavish lifestyle, like these yogurt pretzels. But Matt Fiedler shipped me the camera, the Lumix G7 maybe, I don't know. And I had to buy an SD card. I've never owned an SD card in my life. And all sorts of tricks and stuff that you can do with this camera. I think it's got Angry Birds on it and Pokemon Blue. But the first thing I had to tackle, some sort of jailbreaking something, because when I first started trying to record the video, I realized that it had a 29-minute time limit. I'm saying, look, for all my Beantown needs, this is not going to work. I oftentimes will ramble for hours at a time. And if you're going to want to capture that on video, you're going to need some more power. So I had to do some Googling to find out that there's a way, and I swear to God, this is legit, where you have to like boot up the camera while holding some buttons that felt really janky, and then press a different button while holding some buttons, and then turn it off while holding some buttons, and it like takes away the limit. And I'm thinking, like, if this is a possibility, why haven't we been doing this the whole time, Like, why weren't we always just have an unlimited time limit? Right now, my limit's at 2 hours and 37 minutes, so that should last us one episode. But I think everything's going okay. Hopefully, we're recording right now. I don't know. What does it look like? Maybe. I think we're recording right now. It's kind of blurry. I don't know. I shaved. Oh, speaking of Matt Fiedler, boy, he's coming up on, this podcast all the time. I shaved, and that's because I thought we had a pact. Ooh, that got HD lips for a second. If you're not watching the video stream, and I was successfully able to upload it to YouTube, you're going to want to go check this out because things are getting nuts over here. Look at that HD quality. It's just my mouth. This looks like a Talking Heads music video or something. Okay, that's enough of that. Yikes. I learned Matt Fiedler had been trimming his beard this whole time. I felt betrayed, ripped off, run down, empty-handed, like a fool, like I'd been played for nothing. And all of a sudden I said, you know what? I'm going to seize the day. I'm going to trim this beard because I hadn't trimmed since, I don't know, early March, if not late February. And it feels amazing. I no longer feel like a caveman. I lost about 10 pounds in addition to the 55 to 60 I've already lost this year. And it was just very liberating. So, but going back to this camera, it's one thing to actually get the camera set up and get, the SD card inserted the right way, line up the positives with the negatives, etc. But the editing is a whole other thing. You got to do the thing like the way you do in the movies where you do the clap. It's not what it sounds like, but you know what I'm getting towards. So that's so they can line up the audio and the visual. I tried to do one of those at the start. We'll see how it goes. I got to try to do this editing through iMovie on my Mac, which just sounds like if there is a hell, I'm about to go through it. Especially with this 4K file. I don't know, man. Seems like it's asking a lot. And then there's what do I do about how do I handle the intro and the outro music, right? Because if now we're doing timely, claps and stuff to sync audio and video, when do we do the intro and the outro music? The other thing is with these video podcasts, I'm giving you all the reasons I'm frustrated. What if I want to, pause, switch, go to the piano or something to play a tune? Can't really do that with a camera. I'll have to keep rolling the whole time. That's a lot of added extra pressure. It reminds me of, season 1 of the Beantown podcast when we would just let we'd be live. We would let the film roll and just catch whatever came on. Now in our more sophisticated third season, we'll make quick cuts and stuff. But boy, and then there's actually trying to upload it to YouTube from my computer, which could take years per episode. It gives you like an estimated time remaining. And if your internet's, in bad shape when you try to do it, it could be like estimated time remaining 2 years, 37 months, and 8 hours or something. So we'll see. If you are watching this right now on YouTube and the audio and the visual is lined up, like, act of God that somehow worked, because I'm really flying with my pants off here, I think is the expression. We'll see. Who knows? Let's read some of our ads here, and then we'll get to part 2 of the show. Again, we're going to keep this one pretty short. 1, because it's a holiday weekend, and I got stuff I want to do. 2, because there's a NASCAR race starting soon, the Coke 600, and 3, because I don't really have that much to say. We had a string of some really hot episodes in, late April, early May. We had Tim Uther come on the podcast. We talked about detasseling, which I think was a really fascinating episode. Objectively, if you don't know what corn detasseling is and you want to know what a lot of Midwestern kids do every summer, check it out. We had our Mother's Day special. We had our top 10 horse name special. We had a really strong run for a couple episodes. And I was talking to Rachel about this morning, where it's like, I feel like my show thrives when I have the opportunity throughout the week. 1, traveling is great for the podcast, but 2, the opportunity to just get out, go do things, experience things, put myself in odd, uncomfortable, awkward situations just to have the experience and then share that on the podcast. That's usually when I have my best content. Right now, with everything shut down, quarantine, it's been a lot tougher. So I apologize if you've noticed a dip in the quality. We're doing our best over here. Okay, let's read some ads here. We got our fancy Dell computer. Home Pride, Oregon. Are you tired of selling your house for less than a quarter of what it's worth, all because you couldn't find a reliable home inspector in time? And folks, we have all been there. Well, Oregon listeners, there's good news for you. Home Pride Inspection Services in Bend, Oregon is Central Oregon's hottest new home inspection provider, with inspection services including things like heating and cooling, roofing, plumbing, and so much more. Home Pride Oregon is both contractor certified and home inspection certified, so you know you're getting the good stuff. If you're tired of big real estate's stranglehold on the home inspection market and you want a safe, certified home inspector that you can trust, you got to call Steve at 541-410-0316, or you could visit homeprideoregon.com. Again, that's 541-410-0316, or just visit homeprideoregon.com. Home Pride Oregon, inspection perfection. I want to give a shout out to the Samsung Q2U series. Doesn't get a lot of actual camera time, but it looks good, 4K quality, and it sounds good too. It's pulling some double duty this week. It recorded a nice, what's our show called? White Noise Podcast. I always forget what our podcast is called. My second podcast. It's really embarrassing. It sounded good. It's 2+ years old. Still sounds as good as the day I bought her. I tell you what. And yes, I do have 2. The other one's back there. But shout out to the Samsung Q2U series, from the Pentateuch all the way through the minor prophets, the major prophets, the Gospels, the Epistles, Epistle, EP, IS, TLE, Jude and Revelation, When God speaks, he uses a Samson. I want to give a shout out to Jack Link's. Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side. Cool, crisp, refreshing. Now in turkey jerky. You're going to want to try it in different flavors. Teriyaki. You can't go wrong with a classic buffalo flavor. Jack Link's. Feed your wild side. No, it's not an official sponsorship, okay? I was bluffing. Cuts by Q. There's an odyssey for you. Still shut down by J.B. Pritzker and Lori Lightfoot. So I can't cut my hair right now. I can't cut anyone's hair right now. My steak knife is dull. It's not even ready to cut hair. You know, the economy hits us all in very different ways. But no one knows that better than I do. Don't let me forget to take my multivitamin after I finish here. Here we go. Cuts by Q. Bob and weave. We all know the hairstyle, and we all love it. But how many independent Chicago-based barbers can actually give it to you the way you deserve? Enter Cuts by Q. It's like Enter Sandman, but different. Cuts by Q has been independently owned and operated since 1995 and is probably one of the better barbershop operations serving Chicago, Cook County, Northwest Indiana, and the greater Chicagoland area. From beehives to bangs, faux hawks to flat tops, and everything in between, you got to call Cuts by Q at 815-298-7200, or you can email cutsbyq at yahoo.com. Again, that is cuts, Q-U-T-Z, by Q at yahoo.com. All right, sing it with us. If you're watching the stream on YouTube, you're going to want to tune in. You're going to want to crank it. Just like in NASCAR when they do the crank it lap where they don't commentate and they just listen to the road noise for a lap. That's what this is. Crank it up, Beantown edition. Oh, when you need a fresh do, something snappy and new, just call the experts at Cuts by Q. It's the sound of scissors if you're listening to this and not watching the audio. All right. Thank you to our loyal sponsors who've stuck with us since day one. Okay. 23 minutes in. We're doing pretty well here. We're doing pretty well. I had, in classic Beantown podcast fashion, I had something I wanted to talk about briefly for part 2 of today's episode, and it has completely escaped my mind. There are lots of different things I could talk about. None of them are that particularly interesting, if you ask me. This is just about the 2-year anniversary of our Phantom Lost episode, which has since been released. If you missed it, we did that about, 3 months ago or so? It was like February or March. I had a week where I was just like, I usually have nothing to say. I had a week where I really had nothing to say, and so I just decided to release that episode, which I hadn't listened to. And I still... Maybe I listened to it once. I don't remember. But that was a Memorial Day trip. And it is now Memorial Day 2020, albeit an early Memorial Day. Last year, Memorial Day weekend was a cousin's wedding in Chicago when I was still living in Beantown. And that was fun. We then took the U-Haul, me and Mom and Dad, and drove it from Chicago to Oregon. Without air conditioning, which, frankly, I hardly even noticed it. Mom, on the other hand, not as forgiving. But we made it. We did it in 3 days. Not too bad when you got 3 drivers. And, that means we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of moving into this apartment. If this is your first look, welcome into my home. If you're watching the video stream, it's a large apartment. It's much bigger than what we had going on in Beantown. Went from about 420 square feet up to about 750. It's more space than I need, but it's kind of nice to have. And now that we have the piano in the dining room, which is over to my left here, we're kind of filling it out. It's a nice space. I like it. There's nothing about Rogers Park specifically that I'm attached to. It's just... It's nice. It's quiet. It's laid back. It's especially nice right now because all the Loyola kids are gone and have been for months and will continue to be for months now that summer is starting. I'm close to a grocery store. I'm close to public transportation. What more could you ask for? The only thing I could ask for, and this is particularly amplified, like when I'm hanging out down in Lakeview, I'm not really close to any restaurants of any kind that I really like. There are things very close to me. There are options, but none of them I really feel like that connected to or even like that much. I did have that in Beantown. I had the Spot. It was literally called the Spot. And it was some of the like junkiest, trashy kind of food you could ever want, but it was my junky, trashy food. And it was just up the hill from my apartment, about 4 blocks. And I would always go on Sunday nights, get some chicken fingers and fries, and maybe if I was really looking to carb load, half a loaf of garlic bread. Watch some Sunday Night Football, man. Cheer on your fantasy squad. Those were the days. Easily the best thing about Baltimore. The chicken fingers. But we're coming up on 1 year here, and it's been good. We'll be here for another year minimum, maybe more after that. I don't know. It kind of depends on where my life situation takes me. But we're satisfied for now, I got my yogurt pretzels. I got my daily vitamins. And you can't see it on the video feed, but over there I have a Duncan Keith floss holder, which I actually acquired on my second ever date with Rachel. We went to a Blackhawks game, my first ever NHL game. And hers got stolen. Hosted a St. Patrick's Day party, and it was stolen, which is just absurd. So I've offered to give her mine. She has said no, but it's here anytime you want it, lady. So I don't think I really have anything else. I kind of feel like I'm on a Zoom call right now. Don't have a Zoom meeting tomorrow, which is just like the greatest thing of all time because it's Memorial Day. I don't know, man. I think I talked about this last week or the week before on the podcast, but these daily Zoom calls are just, it's a lot, man. Every single day, I'm starting to lose my mind. So I like working from home, actually. The kind of, there are things I don't like about it, but for the most part, the sort of routine I've gotten myself into, the amount of physical exercise I've been able to do, just the whole experience has been a mainly positive one. If we could just cut the Zoom meetings from 5 down to 1 per week, I would be happy as a clam. It'd be peachy. It'd be, because the worst part is just like, try not to go on too long of a rant here. It's the last thing I'll say here before we stop. It's just, you gotta always feel like, even when you have, a slower day, which I think is just natural in life. You have busy days, you have slower days at work. But now there feels like an immense pressure to always have busy days because you always got to share what you're doing. And there's pressure to feel active and engaged when you're on the Zoom call. At least in my office, there's only, 5 of us. And, if you look fatigued or downtrodden in any way, people start to worry. Why is he fatigued? Why is he downtrodden? Could be the corona, could be syphilis. He could just be fatigued. Maybe he doesn't want to do Zoom calls every or every daily morning. It could be that. But I'm just like, I'm the type of worker who get my stuff done on my own time at my own pace. You asked me to do it, it's done. That's just me. So I gotta start being more strategic. I gotta stop taking care of all my stuff for the week, Monday through Wednesday, and then having nothing to do Thursday and Friday. I should just be more lazy Monday through Wednesday and try to equal it out. Spread the butter evenly, if you will. So, or just start making up things to do. Like, that's my new thing. Watching a lot of webinars, which is relevant to what I want to do, but also like not really going to impact what I do in the future. So those webinars, I'm banking on those. I have a huge long list of webinars to watch. I'm just keeping them up my sleeve. Anyways, okay, we hit the 30-minute mark, which is a great place to stop. I'm going to go get some more lotion for my sunburn. We're going to turn on that NASCAR race. If this all worked out from a tech perspective, and you're watching this on YouTube and you made it this far, leave us a comment. Say congrats on your first video podcast. 125 episodes in, you finally got off your ass and did something with your life. Leave a fun comment like that would be, much appreciated. You can also subscribe, whether you're on YouTube, SoundCloud, Player FM, Spotify, Stitcher, Castbox. We haven't gotten there yet. I'm still working on it. I think I uploaded one episode. Wherever you want to find us, go ahead and find us. And if the video did work out, it's a modern miracle, I tell you what. So that's what we got going on. I hope everyone's having a fun 3-day weekend, or if you're listening to this throughout the week and you already had it, I hope it went well. You know what? If you, like me, have those daily Zoom meetings, stay strong. There will be an end to this, I hope. Although I saw that clip from yesterday at the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri with just like Corona or not, the density of people there was shocking. So yeah, we're gonna be in for some second waves. In fact, maybe so many second waves that it spills into a third wave. Who knows? Okay, that's what I got for you. So I'm gonna try to end this. I don't know if there's intro and outro music this week because I literally don't. I can't even mentally think about how it might work. I don't know. We're going to find out. We'll do my best. Okay, that's what I had for you. I don't know. Do I stop the audio first? I suppose. Do I stop the... I don't even... Because then I'm going to have to upload the audio file to things like SoundCloud, but then take that audio file and bring it to YouTube for editing. Seems like a lot. I don't know, man. I don't think we thought this whole project through. Yikes. All right. For all of us here at BeantownPodcast.com and streaming live on Beantown Networks, my name is Quinn David Furnace. This is my show. Thank you for tuning in. Hope everyone is staying safe, staying happy, and staying sane. And if the video worked out, who knows? But I know the audio is going to be uploaded one way or another. So I hope everyone's having a good time. Happy holiday weekend. And you know what? I'll hit you up next week. Bye.